Tony Poulos here in Singapore, today meeting with Qualcomm's John Stefanac, who is the President of Southeast Asia and Pacific. John, welcome.
Hi, Tony.
You did a presentation earlier today that was quite fascinating, and you were talking about it's not just wireless anymore, it's about mobility. What did you mean by that?
Well, it's always really been about mobility, but I think we forget about that at times. We're so accustomed to sitting in an internet cafe or in a coffee shop or even at home and accessing the information wirelessly. But from an operator's standpoint, the dynamics involved in stationary wireless as opposed to mobility is very, very different. And it's an issue that mobile operators have to face and cater for. The mobile network, we forget that it's a living, breathing entity that actually ebbs and flows throughout the day. And during the daylight hours, working hours, the communications are probably in the CBD area, whereas at night time they're in a different location. Operators have to cater for that.
But it's not just about mobile phones anymore. You're talking about devices. In fact, 50 billion projected devices. What does this mean for the operators?
Well, again, there's a number of paradigms that opens it up for operators. First of all, we as subscribers are going to have access to multiple devices. It wasn't that long ago I just had a phone, but today I have two phones. I have an iPad tablet that's connected to the 3G network. I have an Amazon Kindle. My laptop is connected. Soon my car, my camera, all these different devices will be connected in some way, shape or form to the wireless network. From an operator's standpoint, of course, they have to cater for that mass of data that's going to travel over those wireless networks, right? And backhaul all of that to locations and back to the subscribers. In addition to that, for the operator, they're going to have a look at what their business models, how their business models change to cater for specialised applications for some of these devices.
Well, we're talking about the networks. Let's go to the networks for a moment. You talked about LTE complementing 3G, which I found quite fascinating. What do you mean by that? And surely LTE is going to eventually replace 3G.
Well, first of all, when we look at the development and the evolution of the 3G networks that we have today, just in the last few years, we've gone from networks capable of delivering only 3.6 megabits download to networks today that are able to deliver up to 42 megabits, and we'll continue that evolution for a few years yet to come. So the capabilities of the 3G network continue to evolve, and what we will end up seeing is LTE networks deployed in areas where even further capacity relief are going to be required. We won't see LTE networks displacing 3G networks for some time yet. And it's, you only have to go look at GSM networks that started operating 20 years ago. They're still in operation today, right? And we'll continue to see that with 3G.
We're starting to hear talking about multiple frequency bands. And do multiple frequency bands create unique problems for operators and for the device manufacturers as well?
Yeah, well, certainly for the operators in terms of being able to get access to various spectrum bands. And what we're actually seeing is not all the bands that were perhaps common for or earmarked for LTE may be available in each market. So operators have to look at what is available. That's going to impact economies of scale for the device vendors who are actually creating the devices. That then impacts the subscribers out there when they come to purchase an actual device. And it also has some implications in terms of roaming on LTE. I think what we will see for, again, some time to come, and perhaps another reason why we'll continue to see 3G networks, is that roaming, when we roam internationally, we'll be roaming on 3G networks, not necessarily LTE.
So we're going to see handsets that will be 3G and LTE at the same time?
We'll see handsets that are multi-mode. Qualcomm has a chipset capable of supporting LTE, both FDD and TDD, WCDMA variants, HSPA, HSPA Plus, EVDO, and GSM and Edge.
So how is the industry going to get any sort of economies of scale going with so many frequencies to contend with.
Yeah, I think the industry has to have a good look at what some of those common bands are going to be, and work very hard with government ministries and regulators to ensure that there are common frequencies that are made available to at least the majority of markets throughout the world.
Do you think that the spectrum requirements that are coming into force will force a bit more market consolidation?
Tony, you know, what we're looking at over the next 3-4 years is our appetite for getting access to data continue to increase. And we're looking in some markets at a 30-fold increase. That has implications in terms of the amount of spectrum that we have to get access to be able to deliver all of that information. As a result, operators are going to have to look at more spectrum. Spectrum is a finite resource, and that's going to actually force some consolidation amongst the operators to be able to make sure that they're delivering those services to you and I as subscribers.
Interesting times. John Stefanac, thanks so much for being with us again.
Very welcome.